Good morning and welcome to the midweek edition of Inside Nigeria on Leadership Television. We sincerely apologize for bringing this segment of the show a bit behind schedule. But we are here now, notwithstanding we are about to flag up. My name is Winifred Webo, and of course with me in the studio is our midweek guest. He is a triple chief, he is a syndicated columnist, a TV host, and of course a public affairs analyst, Jide Ojo. It's always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you, Winifred. It's
Thank
a
you. But what
pleasure.
happened today? You came a bit late.
Yeah, I was rushing from another assignment.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
Yes, so we have papers for review this morning, and of course we have Nigeria's most influential newspaper leadership, and sports as usual also is also leading us in our discussions on newspaper cover stories. Leadership says Doba hotel bombing, misery around Baguda Kato's death unresolved 27 years after. Doba hotel bombing, misery around Baguda Kato's death unresolved 27 years after. American embassy silent over leadership inquiries since September. Ex-envoy Russell Hanks now elusive. Again, police breach FOI Act, keep mum. Family must get justice. This is a leading story. Of course, it's also a development story since September on Baguda Kato's misery death.
It's one of the answers of the job. People really do not appraise their minds to the fact that as journalist, as writer, you are an endangered species, not only in Nigeria but across the globe. We saw what happened to Khashoggi
Yes,
in the embassy, where up to tomorrow nobody has been made to account for the death of that journalist. And many others. There was one that happened recently in I think it was in Palestine. A female journalist who was shot dead
yes.
in the course of quelling the protest between Palestinians and the Israeli forces. And she happens to be working for Al Jazeera, and Al Jazeera has been asking for justice for that lady. And several others. So Baghdad Kato, it happened in the 90s during the era of military junta. And that was the price. He was one of the martyrs of the struggle for the restoration of civil rule, because he was plying his trade with one of the newspapers then, and mysteriously disappeared at Doba Hotel in Kaduna, and nobody has been able to pinpoint exactly what happened to him. How did he die? Was he shot? Was he murdered? Was it, And recall also what happened to late Delegiwa,
Oh, yes.
who was also bombed by unknown person. And up to tomorrow, the allegations are still rife as to who actually killed Delegiwa. And this is over 30. Yeah, the question, this one 27 years, that one is even over 30 years ago that Delegiwa was murdered. So as journalists, we have seen, even here in FCT, a couple of journalists have died in mysterious circumstances where nobody has been able to actually ascertain how there was one that disappeared one night. I don't know whether it was I've forgotten the guy's name, and all they knew was that he eventually died. But how he died, nobody could say.
Yes,
so
in fact, our former colleague.
Yeah, I think he was working for
Third Salem.
He was working for leadership. So there are several other mysterious death of journalists across the country, across Africa, across the entire universe. And it tells you the challenge of working as journalists. Journalists Without Borders and some other unions of journalists have been taking tally of attacks on journalists, the media houses, and also the killing of journalists. But in spite of the press freedom, in spite of the demand for accountability, we have not seen that happen to a very large extent. And the election is coming. We hope we will not record any casualty among our colleagues.
Exactly. Journalists are always the brunt of also police brutality, because we see some occasions that maybe the journalists are being to cover, and you see police brutalizing them. And even so,
if you recall,
so
Winifred, when Zakizaki's
Mm.
issue, the protest in Abuja against
Yes.
Zakizaki took place at the federal secretariat. A journalist with channels,
yes,
I think, was
also
murdered.
yes, also
There was another one that died in Kano, covering the bomb,
Yes.
the insurgents bombing of a place in Kano. So there are so many mysterious death of journalists in the course of their work, and the much I can say is that this is unwholesome development. Bagada Kato, 27 years after, nobody has been able to ascertain how exactly did he die. What I mean, there have been a couple of other this day. There was a this day editor, Edwin Agboroko, who also died mysteriously. There was one that died in Maiduguri, in a hotel room.
Remember, yes.
Nobody knew exactly. So many one can recall that journalists who are, and those that we know were, it was even the state as at then that was responsible. For instance, the attack on Guardian newspaper in Lagos during the military junta, where the Guardian office was firebombed. We also have proscription of many newspapers, including the Punch, the Concord.
Even this day,
at some point, even channels has also been at the receiving end for breaking some story that they were. So when you look at all of this, you find out that journalists have been at a receiving end of the state for exposing corruption, for exposing human rights abuses, for doing their job, simply doing their jobs. And that's why this job is a thankless job.
It is.
Because despite the fact that you are not making money on it, you are still, your life is still perpetually under threat. There are some journalists, when they publish a story, you see them receiving death threats, or some will be kidnapped.
I also want you to also take speak on this FYI. It's supposed to help journalists, and of course, make transparency in governance, available to everybody. But we keep seeing the fact that FYI, even when you write organizations or MDAs about information, they are still not honoring it. What should be done about it?
Well, I think there is a way out. The FYI Act 2011 allows you to go to court to challenge.
Of course, we know the judiciary system.
Yes, unfortunately, that is the challenge, because you file a suit in court and it takes years for the case to be had, by which time the need for that information may have even been overtaken by events. So it's deliberate frustration of action and activities.
14 years after the Supreme Court just ruled against the Obong of Calabar. 14 years.
Yeah, after the man
saved a lot of
quite unfortunate.
So the man will now leave, vacate
is
after
exalted
14 years.
14.
Which would have been at the beginning.
Wait, Winifred, that 14 years is even a chicken feed. I've seen a traditional ruler in Southwest that have been on the throne for 20 years before he was dethroned. And the Supreme Court is not the rightful year. But that's why, in terms of ownership, or it's the Ibadan traditional title succession that is perfect. Ibadan people already knew who is the next Olubadan. If this one that is there, if he dies, because there is a peaceful succession, but that's the only one. Every other one, look at it now. Alaafin for your died. son of Ogbomosho, died, and several other traditional rulers in Oyo State have died. No, nobody has been announced as a successor to them because of issues arising from litigations. Once you have somebody named, the other goes to court, and
it
then
also goes to show a lot about, if we're talking about FOI Act, and you said that there's a
that you can go to court. But you see, the law is for
process.
Winifred, the law is for the enemy, the exemption is for the friend. Did you know that in spite of this Freedom of Information Act, if I demand to have the code of conduct, the asset declaration form of a governor or a president, CCB would not grant me. But CCB granted, or I don't know how the guy got it, to drag INEC chairman to court to say that he saw falsely, he has a false asset declaration form. And I asked in my column last week, how did they assess the asset declaration form of INEC chairman? Somebody leaked it. So when they want to be I don't know whether so they know how to circumvent the law.
Is that now exception to the FOI Act that you write that you want to have access to maybe some certain information and you are denied?
In spite of the fact that Nigeria signed on to Open Government Partnership, we have Freedom of Information Act and other instruments that should enhance transparency and accountability, which we call sunshine laws. They are observed in breach. They are observed, and that's what is making the work of journalists very difficult.
Yes,
that's why many journalists ended up being speculative in their report.
Yes,
because they cannot assess the authentic
according to
sources, according to anonymous source prefer not to be mentioned and all of that. So, because, and I don't also blame them. I've said, until when we have whistleblower protection law, not just policy, it will remain so. The person who wants to give you information, his life is not secured. If he diverts vital, sensitive state information, he and his family could go for it.
Yeah, and most of this information that journalists get, most of the time they also pay for it.
It's cool. You have to give me money. The people ask for inducement for them to be able to get information. But it shows how underdeveloped we have over 150 years of media practice in Nigeria, but it's still a weak institution. Funding of journalists, funding of media houses is still very, very low.
Yes,
and that's why you see high mortality of many media houses. Yes. Today, you can name several newspapers that have gone under. You can name several broadcast stations that are no longer on air because of high operational cost. But the Freedom of Information Act, we must also be quick to say, has some exemptions that the state protects if it's information on security or national security. So the law says yes, you can actually not give such, but it's not ordinary information that should even be found on the website of ministries, departments, and agencies.
We saw a situation whereby it was actually a teenager that the disgraced AGF was flying to it was actually the uncle. That blew the whistle
on 13-year-old
girl. Is getting money from that. Look at how he's
13-year-old girl.
It's so unfortunate. Let's move on to other papers we have on for our menu today. Let's look at Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard, Atiku Dogara Obi attack APC's same faith ticket afresh. Muslim ticket recipe for disaster, Atiku. Same faith ticket not an option, Dogara. Church to take decisions soon, Ekwa president. APC's same faith ticket divisive, says LP. Atiku, greatest divider of Nigeria, APC, PCC. I'll take Vanguard leading story once again. Atiku Dogara Obi attack APC same-faith ticket afresh. Muslim ticket recipe for disaster, Atiku. Same-faith ticket not an option, Dogara. Church to take decision soon, Ekwa president. APC same-faith ticket divisive, says LP. Atiku, greatest divider of Nigeria, APC, PCC. That's the leading story on Vanguard newspaper, and it's on page 5 of the paper. And another paper that has the same leading story with Vanguard is This Day. This Day says, Ekwa president, church will announce presidential choice soon. Ekwa president, church will announce presidential choice soon. Northern Christians already settled for Atiku, says Dogara. Muslim ticket recipe for disaster, former vice president wants. In Ekiti, PDP candidate promises to prioritize human development. INEC hails ECOWAS commission over dialogue with parties ahead of elections. We're still on the same faith ticket.
Well, why should I mean we have 30 something days to election.
Yes.
Whether same faith ticket is divisive or not divisive, it is not for the other political parties to say. They have their own campaign to focus on. They should rather see how they can profit from that purported mistake. But I know, as a student of politics, that APC did what will serve its interest best.
Yes.
And politics, I've told people, politics is not the same thing as, morality and politics are not the same thing. They are like oil and water. They don't mix.
They don't mix.
So if you want to do religious piety, don't go into politics. Politics is not for the lily-livered. Politics is like the game of chess.
The lion-hearted, not the
politics is like the game of chess. You anticipate what is your opponent throwing at you.
Remember, even before their primaries, they were postponing.
Of course, now it's deliberate to know what is this one coming up with. So, and that was why when PDP boxed itself into a coup d'etat by going for Atiku, APC knew if they choose a northern candidate, it will not work for them. So they decided to choose a southern candidate.
And you can you remember what Lalong said, the chairman of the northern? He said, we are not like PDP. We keep to our promise.
So you can see.
I like that one.
The point I've told people, I'm a Christian, but I know for sure APC has its own. Look, let me be very clear to people watching and listening. If APC had gone for a Christian running mate, for a Christian, they would have picked a minority northerner, and Tinubu is presumed to be a minority Muslim from the south. So it will be minority.
Yes.
Did you know that even in the heart of many northerners, they don't see Tinubu as a pure Muslim?
Yes.
How can you be a poor Muslim and your wife is a Christian? All your children are Christians.
So odd. I thought it was some of them.
All the children are Christian. The wife is even a pastor in Redeemed Church.
Did Melaya challenge him recently that he's not a Muslim?
That's what. Yes, and they say you can't recite Quran. That is not. So it will have been a double jeopardy, because whether we like it or not, election is emotive.
It is.
People vote on sentiment.
Yes, it is.
So if he picks anybody he picks from the north will be perceived as minority. That means he will not have the support of the Muslim north, who are very, very passionate about their faith.
Their faith, yes.
Now, and the north did not even see Tinubu as a pure Muslim. Tinubu, as governor of Lagos State, will always invite Pastor Adeboye of Redeemed Church every 1st of January to come and open the year for them. So they have all of this.
They have kept.
And
Fashola
Fashola did it. That's why being a Muslim, his wife is a Christian. Ambode did it. This one is even a Christian. So you cannot even say why is he doing it. But those who are even Muslim governors, we invite Pastor Adeboye to come and have an interdenominational service for them. So all of this, they are watching. So if the election is a game of numbers, and it's a game of intrigues.
Yes.
The reason why PDP, Labour, and all of them are castigating APC is that they wish APC had made that mistake. You don't get. They wish the APC made that so that they can profit from it.
Yes.
They can say, look, that one is a kafirina. It's not a true Muslim.
I know just what you said. That is what Tinubu also said when he met, I think,
the northern Christian leaders.
He said those are castigating him. Of course, Dogara and the former grass cutting SGS, Babaji Lawal.
They have never ceased to call him grass cutting.
No, that is
but he's not the one leading the part of those who want to migrate, that is now supporting P2B. Yes. Dogara is now supporting.
No, that's where I'm going to. That because they wanted to be his VP.
Yes,
actually, and it's true. They have actually positioned themselves to
be his. In fact, Dogara especially was hoping that it would be.
He defected.
Yes, now from PDP to APC. It was doing permutation. Yes. That okay, being the former number 4 citizen, if they are shopping for it stands a better chance.
And it's true.
So that's why he has gone to join camp Atiku now.
The party he defected from.
He's a serial defector now. Do you know how many times he has defected? So what I'm saying is that as a student of politics who understood the interests of winning election, you don't pander to opinion of some self-styled elites whose vested interest they are pursuing.
Yes.
Why is Dogara with Atiku?
It's always personal interest.
It's personal interest now.
He said it's politics and everything in life.
It's about self-interest. It's not about. It's about self-aggrandizement. They want to be in a position so that if this guy wins, even politics of endorsement, that is it. When you endorse a person, the hope is that if that person wins, you nominate some of the ministers. Exactly. You nominate some of the board chairmen, the head of ministries, department, and agency. That is it. Some people have now come up to say why Obasanjo did not endorse Tinubu. Tinubu was because of all these shady parts that he knew that there is no love lost. It's like between Wole Soyinka and Obasanjo, there is no love lost. Both of them are Egba, but they don't say eye to eye. So, and the animosity that has been there between Obasanjo and Tinubu from the time of 2003 when Obasanjo, released, special forces to make sure he wins all the 6 Southwest states and was only able to get 5 out of the 6, except Lagos. He has never been happy that this guy in Lagos has smarted him because all the other 5 states fell. It was Tinubu alone that was the no man standing in AD.
And you saw the award then when he seized the local government.
He seized the local government fund and all of it. So people usually do not look behind the scene. They pander to recent Obasanjo is ignore the messenger and face the message. It's not always. If Peter Obi wins today, you will start seeing Obasanjo in the corridors of power. He will start teleguiding and micromanaging Peter Obi. This is how you should do it. This don't go near this person. This one will miss that. And at the end of the day, you will be the one puppeting his administration. And that was what he was trying to do with Buhari between 2015 and 2019. That one resisted. That was what caused Rofrofo. Okay, you don't want to listen to my advice. He started publishing his letter again. And
so long a letter. There's
So-
no I read that I was in school.
Madam Abba.
So long a letter.
So long a letter. So all these so-called political elites, there is no public interest in many of the things
It's
they
all
do.
about
It's all
personal
about
interest.
self-aggrandizement. It's all about personal interest.
A director told me that recently. He said, whatever happens, that we should be happy that Tinubu, they are saying that Tinubu has lost it, and but we should be happy that at least he has a capable VC, and that somebody he knows the VC. So people forget what they are saying. No, that you should go for a capable person. If you have to look for for your interest, how will the incoming favor you? So you should consider your own personal interest first. I said, really? So yes, he says it's personal interest.
That's self-interest is what all of these people that are saying
even the national interest. How do you know that all these countries we are aligning with and all those stuff, they are not actually for example, everybody is a personal interest, but it not made it look like as if it's national interest.
That is the issue now. All these things are camouflaged as national interest, but
So
the real interest
funny.
is...
Anyway, we are moving on for our paper discussion today, and we are looking at the next paper, and that is The Guardian. The Guardian says, uneasy calm at CBN as officials grapple with integrity issues. Uneasy calm at CBN as officials grapple with integrity issues. CBN DSS downplay, dismiss Emefiele's arrest saga as speculative. Officials not in DSS custody, Apex Bank insist. ADI, integrity of system completely compromised. I'll take that again. Uneasy calm at CBN as officials grapple with integrity issues. CBN DSS downplay, dismiss Emefiele's arrest saga as speculative. Officials not in DSS custody, Apex Bank insist. ADI, integrity of system completely compromised. This is the same story on the Punch newspaper. The Punch says police presence at Emefiele's Abuja home stirs controversy. Police presence at Emefiele's Abuja home stirs controversy. CBN governor expected to appear in court today over $53 million judgment debt. Police deny arrest move. DSS says deputy governors not quizzed. We have not seen the end of
no, we have not.
There were reports on Monday that it was President Muhammad Buhari that called him that they should allow court judgment to subsist or something like that.
Well, I really don't know. You are the professional journalist, so you will have scope about who called what. But the fact that from one of the newspapers reported, he has to rely on army for protection when the DSS surrounded his home. It shows that there are serious
but however, doing in the street, in the newsroom yesterday, we did argue that if actually DSS meant to arrest him, there's no stopping it. That they
could have picked him up at the airport.
That even his own bodyguard also comprised of it, would even be the one to take him to.
He could have been arrested even at the airport at the point of entry before he would get the military cover. Yes. But the issue is that I'm only worried about what actually is the problem. We know some of the past CBN governors have not been very transparent in the management of that office. We saw the controversies that led to the exit of Sanusi Lamido Sanusi.
Even that of Soludo. Remember when he was trying to decimate Naira? The president Yaradua immediately removed.
Yes. So he never got second term.
It was even during that controversy, just like we had now.
That they brought in, and then they brought in Sanusi Lamido, who also ended up being suspended, and his tenure ended in controversy. Now we have an Emefiele who is card-carrying member of APC and wanting to retain his job and contest for the presidency. I don't know, where are those vehicles now? All these Murphy.
The same way with the Attorney General Federation.
Yes.
You also bought. What happened to those vehicles?
Have they resold them or whatever? Because there were so many vehicles being showcased as his campaign vehicles.
Yes.
I never knew where that has happened before, where a sitting governor of central bank, who manages the treasury for the entire country, will still want to go and contest for the presidency while still retaining his position.
And many of them too. We also saw AGF too, like I just mentioned.
The AGF,
also went to
even there was a resident electoral commissioner in INEC who also has have to resign to go and contest for governorship of a state. It shows how.
Okay, that one resigned.
That one resigned to go. But should you have even, because it shows that you are a card-carrying member of that party. For you to have, and you know,
it's true.
Yes,
he just exposed himself. He has been a mole all along.
He has been a mole, because if he didn't resign and is put in charge of a state, you could compromise. So how would you just resign to go and then the next thing you went and contest election in for governorship? It shows that all along you wanted to use that office. I didn't even know whether he won the primaries, but
you would have followed it up.
Am I your? Do you pay me? So you just
for your personal consumption.
For personal consumption, so that I can use. I can. No, you have given you.
You always have.
Winifred, I've given you a need. I've given you a need. Ask your political correspondent to go and follow up that Annecraig that resigned to go and contest for governorship. They didn't win. Let's know. You see, these are.
I also heard of even a not a lawmaker anyway. It's whether deputy, something like that. Finance. He has so much. No, there's so much liquidity in this country. Come to think of it, that he also resigned. Then that was in 2015 to go and contest governorship.
Many of them does. It shows. Is that you didn't hear of Benue where a reverend father even resigned to go and contest?
No, that one is your course. It doesn't have phones that he stole from anywhere.
I use yeah. So people have multiple identities.
So back to Emefiele, many people are speculating that his travails actually are politically motivated. Yes.
It's not impossible, and what I would just encourage DSS to do is to cool temper. This administration of Buhari is counting down, it's winding down. In less than 90 days or thereabouts, it will become ex-president. That was what I wrote in my article, the first article I wrote this year. I said, in 2023, power will change hands. And power will change hands.
Definitely.
All those who are giving him protection will soon lose their status. And he doesn't have immunity against arrest and prosecution as governor of Central Bank, unlike his fellow governors who are. He doesn't have immunity. So whoever is trying to shield and protect him now, he should just get his lawyers ready that after Buhari leaves on May 29, he may have to go and seek asylum elsewhere. Because for him to be honored, even as a sitting CBN governor, with a president, and being a card-carrying member of the ruling party, let's put it that way, it shows that the cover of protection is not even very strong on him.
But obviously, some big wigs in his party don't seem to. They are also part of behind. They are also part of those.
His producers.
Yes.
It's not impossible because he may have offended so many of them. Recall that somebody was on Berekete that was saying, CBN governor can make you a billionaire without you leaving your home. That is just a matter of.
Sanusi did raise alarm now that they were.
No, this one is recent. This revelation is recent. That if he gives you license to get exchange, you collect of you get exchange rate at official price.
Yes,
then you go and trade off.
That is trade news.
You know,
said it now. That's what even the first lady was fingered that time.
That without you leaving your home, you are a billionaire.
Yes.
That you don't even need to, that once he gives you approval, the bank manager will call you to say, sorry, Oga, we have you are entitled to so million of dollars. You know, how do you want it? Do you want us to do the exchange for you, or you? And everything will be concluded on phone, and then you are a billionaire. You just see your account credited with but the banks would be the one to go and do the whole exchange rate conversion. And they will give you, because they are also involved in this round tripping. Like if you want to collect money now, they will tell you that they don't have forex.
Yes.
So where is that forex? They give it to the black marketers. So you could see the wide disparity between the official exchange rate and that of black market. At official exchange rate in go to black market, you get it 700 or something. Yes. So but
almost twice the amount.
We need economic reform that will liberate this country.
We do. Well, viewers, we have come to the end of today's program, also soon. Well, okay, I was even going to say next week I'll have the pleasure of hosting you on the program. Jide, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Viewers, you've heard us. Tomorrow, same time, same station. It's another day. I remain Winifred Weapon. See you.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.